Now, I've been talking, I'd be interested in hearing what you think you have learned as a result of just the short demonstration that we've had. What's your experience of it? What do you think about it? Tell me, my feelings won't get hurt. If you don't like it, you think it's the dumbest thing you ever did, well, that's okay. Tom, let me start with you.
Yeah, it's been many years since I played the Sony kind of version of this game. I like this is simpler and more understandable than that was. But they were trying to interject a little bit more automation, and this still does that as you've explained it. But no, I like the simple, but the biggest lessons are in fact simple.
Mark, how about you?
Game-based learning is not new for us. In fact, our whole suite of offerings are based on that approach. So I like it in that it really takes what we do in the form of this little box right here.
Yep.
It's just productivity, efficiency, and
right.
all that, and then justifies that strategy from a business perspective.
And let me just reinforce that for you. What you'll learn at the end of either a 4-hour game or a 3-day game, it makes no difference which of those you choose. When you stand back and look at who won and why they won, efficiency and customization wins every single time. It's the differentiator. Yeah. You're exactly right, Mark. It's what makes your product different from everybody else's. And in a competitive bid market like the real world, that's what drives it. Because what you haven't seen is if you customize, if you go back and look at that chart, there were some of those things that had an R by them. Those companies will actually pay you more for your product than the going market rate. And you learn that as you go through the game. If you bought the customization, there's a little sheet of paper that comes around and goes, psst, by the way, if it's got an R, you can charge more for it. Now you have to discover, somebody else might have one, but if they don't, Katie bar the door. You can get, the whole 15 for them and just walk away with the deal. And you talk about margin builders, that's it. They start going huge. So all kinds of things can happen like that. But excellent point.
I like it from a strategy perspective. I think that we work with our clients a lot to develop this with the owners, but I think getting the management team in there and getting the whole crew in there sometimes to play this game is very constructive to help them then to develop their strategy, and so everybody understands their part of the strategy.
Yeah, the strategic portion of this is just phenomenal when people come with a strategy in mind and we know what it is, and then we get to fiddle with them while they're playing. Because what will happen during one of the more strategic games is we'll come along and we say, by the way, there's a market report available. It's 15 chits. Who wants to buy it? Well, if you buy the market report, you might discover that the product you're manufacturing isn't going to be worth anything in about 2 rounds. Because in the more sophisticated games, we don't give you all that market research. I told you everything that was coming up. You get handed that every round. So you don't have all that background knowledge knowing the market's going to shrink or what it's going to do in advance. You're having to learn that just like you do in real life. So the market report can be very valuable. But I've seen people, honestly, great entrepreneurs, ignore the market report, understand what's going to happen, and play their cash cow to the very end, and still do very well. Very respectable results. They may not win overall, but anybody would have invested in that company. Great, thanks. Harry?
This is new. I've never seen learning by games except I played Monopoly. What I like about it, I would have made the same mistake Dave made on the first round, trying to sell all 3 for cash, because mentally it's like I can get the cash, I'm building up my equity, I'm way ahead of this game. And that was a mistake because these guys were smart enough to figure out that they had to win at a lower price. And that was like an aha for me.
Okay, great.